Plant Growth Substances, Grade 9 Science, Leeds International School. You know that plant needs water, sunlight, air and minerals for its growth. These things are essential factors for the growth of the plant. In this lesson, we are going to talk about very important substances which needed by plants for its growth. They are not like this water, sunlight, air. They are chemical substances. So in this lesson, we are going to learn about the chemical substances needed for the growth of the plant. After germination of seed, stem of a plant is growing upwards and roots are growing downwards. Have you ever thought why it happens? Why the stem of a plant is growing upwards? Actually, is it happening? Let's conduct a small experiment to see this, whether stem is growing upwards, roots are growing downwards. Take a healthy plant as shown in the picture 1 and keep it fallen for about 1 week. From the beginning, you can see the plant will be straight and upright, and the fallen pot, after you keep him for about 1 week, then you can see the plant will bend and grow upwards. So without growing straight, why the plants growing upwards? Let's take similar two potted plants and cut and remove the apex of one plant. First of all, we are taking two similar plants and cut the apex of one plant. Apex means the most upper part of the plant. And after that, you can measure the height of the both plants and keep both plants under same condition. That means the amount of water given and the amount of sunlight should be same. And we have to see the growth of these two plants. To check that, you can measure the height of the both plants daily. At least you have to check this for about 1 week. What will be your conclusion? What will be the growth of these two plants? Are they growing equally or there will be a difference? Let's find out what will happen after this experiment. What will be our observations? We can observe that the plant with apex grow and increase height, but the plant without apex do not grow. So, we can conclude that there is an effect of the apex on plant to increase their height. Actually, what is the effect of the apex on the growth of this plant? The reason for this growth is the chemical compounds synthesized in plant apex. The chemical compounds synthesized in plant apex are helping to grow the plants. Now we know that the chemical substances synthesized in apex are helping to grow the plants. Now from these pictures you can see all these plants are bending towards the window. Why are they bending towards the window? Because they are getting the sunlight from the window. So therefore they are not bending towards the window, actually they are bending towards the light. So why are they bending towards the sunlight? We have to find out what is the reason to bend these plants towards the sunlight. Now let's summarize what we learned up to now. From all these experiments, we can come to conclusion that there is an effect of the apex on the growth of a plant. The reason is chemical compounds synthesized in apex. The chemical compounds which are regulate the growth of a plant are known as plant growth substances. Some growth substances promote the growth of plant and some inhibit the growth of the plant. We will learn some important plant growth substances: Auxins, Gibberellins and cytokinins. First of all, we'll talk about auxin. It's a growth promoting hormone and it produces in the tip of the root and shoot. So, auxin are not producing only at the apex of the shoot, and also they are producing at the tip of the root and also stimulating the growth of the root. Auxin stimulates cell elongation in stem and root. What is cell elongation? When apex is producing auxin molecules are pushing towards downwards when there is sunlight. When the apex is getting sunlight at the top, what happens? These auxin molecules are pushing downwards because they like to be in the shady side and stimulating the cells at the stem and growing and increase in the length of the cell. That is we call cell elongation, increasing the length of the cells. IAA is the natural growth substance in plant. IAA means Indole Acetic Acid. It is used as an artificial growth substance that is naturally there in Auxin. Plants bend towards the light due to dissimilar cell elongation of stem. That is also happens because of the auxin. Say this diagram, as I explained earlier, the auxin molecules are producing at the tip, and when they are sunlight, they are pushing downwards because they like to be in the shady side and equally distributed throughout the stem and stimulating the growth of the stem. But when the apex are getting sunlight from only one side, what happens? I told you now, auxin molecules always like to be in the shady side. When they are getting sunlight only from one side, what happens? Their molecules, auxin molecules, are pushing towards the shady side. So, no auxins to stimulate the side we are getting the sunlight. So, at that time, auxin are stimulating only one side of the plant. It is stimulating only one side of the plant. So, the cell elongation take place only that side. So, this is called dissimilar cell elongation. Dissimilar cell elongation means the length of the cell increase only one side, the other side the cell is not growing, cells are not growing. So as a result of that, the plant is bending towards the light. Why? The side we are getting the sunlight is not increasing the length of the cells, and the other side, shady side, increasing the length of the cells. So this dissimilar cell elongation is bending the plants towards the light. This phenomenon we known as a positive phototrophic movement. A positive phototrophic movement, because the plant is bending towards the light. Auxin inhibits the growth of lateral buds. We'll see how. This is called apical bud, and these are the lateral buds. Lateral buds you get at the base of the leaf. When the apex getting sunlight directly, what's happened? It is producing auxin, and auxin molecules are distributed throughout the stem and increase in the length. So at that time, the lateral buds are not getting the chance to produce auxin and grow as they wish. By apical bud, it is trying to inhibit the growth of these lateral buds. Once you cut the apical bud or apex, what happens? The auxin molecules produced from the apex will stop, and no more growth stimulation happen from the apical bud. At that time, the lateral buds are getting the chance to grow themselves. Now, the lateral buds are producing auxin molecules and they are growing. Stimulating the lateral buds by cutting apex is mostly done in horticulture and growing ornamental plants. What they are doing, when they are cutting the apex of the plant, the lateral buds are growing. So then the plant will be bushy and look nice, and also you can get this kind of nice shape by trimming the plants. So it is very common in gardening, and when people wants to make nice shapes and take a bushy plants, they used to cut the apex and stimulate the growth of the buds, lateral buds. Now let's see the next types of plant growth substances. The next one is Gibberellins. It stimulates stem growth through cell elongation and cell division, and also promote growth of the fruits. The next type is cytokinins. It accelerates the cell division, growth of flowers, leaves, fruits and roots get accelerated, stimulate seed germination and delay plant aging. So these are the function of cytokinins. And let's see another simple two growth substances. Abscisic acid, it's a chemical and it is very important to close the stomata and decrease transpiration during the dry season. And ethylene, it is also simple organic compound and very important in ripening of fruits. And also if a plant is damaged, ethylene release to the wound area and new tissues form to recover the wound. Now let's see what is the reason for falling leaves and fruits when they mature. Plants' leaves produce auxin and providing them to the plant. When they mature, the amount of auxin produced by leaf is reducing. As a result of that, at the base of the leaf, it is making a layer to separate the combination of the plant and the leaf. So that layer gradually growing and completely stop the relationship between the plant and the leaf, and finally the leaf getting yellow color and falling down. The layer forms here we call abscission layer. The layer he calls abscission layer. What is abscission layer? A barrier of thin-walled parenchyma cells develops across the stem or petiole at the base of a leaf, flower or fruit as it approaches the time of falling from a plant. This is we known as abscission. Falling mature leaves, flowers and fruits from the plant we call abscission. More than the natural plant growth substances, people use artificial growth substances as well. They are widely used in horticulture and growing ornamental plants. Artificial growth substances and their uses we'll see now. 2,4-DPA and 2,4,5-TPA used as a broadleaf weedicide for paddy fields. IAA, Indole Acetic Acid, IBA, Indole Butyric Acid. They use to induce root formation of stem cuttings and to grow fruits quickly. NAA, Naphthalene Acetic Acid, used to prevent premature fruit drop to induce flowering in pineapple in off-season. Cytocell to get mango fruits in the off-season. Now it's quiz time. There are few questions. After referring this video, you can answer these questions successfully. Thank you so much for the watching video.